like, comment, and subscribe for more content.
What's up, guys? Welcome to this edition of a Funko Podcast. I'm DK Wrestler.
And I'm MD Shady.
And in today's podcast, we got a couple of great special guests for you guys. So without further ado, our special guests have almost 1,000 subscribers. More specifically, as of this recording, 990 subscribers with over 30 uploads and over 13,000 combined views on their YouTube channel. They have over 4,000 social media followers across Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. They are fellow Canadians. They are the owners of the Funko retailer K-Dog and Fish. Some people know them as Kevin and Mark, but everybody knows them by their retailer name, K-Dog and Fish. Welcome to a Funko Podcast. How's it going, guys?
Thanks, guys. Glad to be here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, no problem. So I just wanted to bring this up first. So not only are you guys friends, but you guys are also cousins, correct?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
First cousins.
First
Okay,
cousin, yeah.
that's where I was going to go with it, whether it's first cousins or like
Yeah,
some people
yeah.
are second cousins. But
Mhm.
yeah, that's cool. What are some things you guys have collected before you guys started collecting Funko?
I've been a collector a long time. I'm huge into Star Wars Lego. That's my biggest thing. Is I got involved in that probably 7 or 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've got a massive Star Wars collection. Star Wars Lego collection, I want to say.
I
So,
remember back when we were young and you collected comic books.
I did collect comic books way back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for
Yeah.
me, my biggest collection prior to Funko, I did sports cards for a while when I was like in the mid 90s. We're a fair bit older than you boys. And then also I really got into, I'm a huge Star Wars nerd, and I got really into collecting 1970s to 80s Kenner Star Wars toys.
Yeah, vintage Star Wars.
So I
Vintage
like
Star Wars,
vintage, original Star Wars toys.
Yeah, and I noticed on your personal Instagram, K-Dog, you're building the Star Destroyer. Is that correct?
I am. I'm a little far behind on it, but yeah, I'm super excited about that. I think it's a bigger build than the Millennium Falcon, which is massive. If you know the Millennium Falcon, it's a huge build. The Star Destroyer is quite a bit bigger than that, and it's a daunting task. I should actually post more pictures of my process of it. So
Yeah, that I think people would really
I think you guys would
get
like
into
that. It's a really cool build. So yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Of course, you guys ended up becoming Funko collectors, and then later on, you guys built your own retailer. So what were the first Funko Pops you guys got, and what kind of started the whole collecting of Funko Pops for you guys?
It honestly started
Started with K-Dog.
I was in a Walmart, and it was Christmas, and I was walking around and I was shopping for Fish's kids, and I saw a Boba Fett Funko Pop, and I know Fish loves A, Star Wars, and B, he loves Boba Fett. So I'm like, I gotta buy this. So I bought it for him, and then I bought one for myself. I think I bought two for you, actually. I think there was two. I
Two
bought
different
for,
pops.
Two different pops,
Yeah.
anyways. And then I went home. I put them on my office on my shelf, and then I started researching Funko Pop. I had no idea what Funko Pop was, and I realized how diverse it was. It was all about Star Wars and how crazy the Star Wars line was. And then I started ordering them off Amazon, and I'm ordering them from Paris. Like they were coming in from like literally Paris, and I had to have them. And I was building my collection. And then Fish got hooked on it.
Oh yeah.
And then we just started just going from there, back and forth. Gotta have this, gotta have this, gotta have this, gotta have this. And then it just grew from there. Like that was all there was to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember hearing in one of your guys' videos, I'm pretty sure, you guys have the Han Solo on Tauntaun, the Smuggler's Bounty.
Yeah, I got hooked on the Smuggler's Bounties.
That got me hooked, actually.
Yeah, I got him hooked on it because
Yeah.
I couldn't, like, it was so cool. And that was back, honestly, Smuggler's Bounties, not as cool as it was before. Now that it's going through Amazon, it's not, like, when it was Funko, it was really cool.
Yeah, I noticed, like, the majority of the boxes when it was run by the Funko shop, they were great. But then
They were
once they
awesome.
started going through Amazon, you'll get like one thing that's
Yeah.
great, and then it's like, all right, and then
Yeah.
especially now, they stopped doing Smuggler's Bounty as
Yeah,
of
they're not even doing it anymore.
So
you
that
know?
must
And
be
I
how
mean,
bad the boxes have been. So
like we've got, like, I remember I got like Han on Tauntaun, which is amazing. And then the 50th anniversary, was the 50th or 30th anniversary of Star Wars, where it was Luke on land speeder.
Yeah.
on the speeder, which was amazing. Like that was an amazing Smuggler's Bounty box, which I should have got more of, and I regret not getting more of those.
I think the last coolest one, and we had to have it. And we were actually, it was a funny story because we hadn't done the shop yet. And they had only shipped to the US. Amazon was the only place US to get the Smuggler's Bounty, was the Boba Gets His Bounty. That pop was so cool. Him pushing Han in Frozen Carbonite. And I was like, we had to have it.
Yeah.
And it timed out because we're both, you can tell we're both huge NFL fans. We went to an NFL game in New England. We went to see the Patriots play the Packers. I timed it out to have the Amazon release shipped to our hotel in Boston so that we were able to get that Smuggler's Bounty.
Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah, it was so cool. Yeah. And then we had to get it home. Without destroying it. Yeah.
Totally worth it.
Yeah.
As mentioned on some previous videos and 4 o'clock Friday live streams, you guys are originally from Winnipeg, but you guys currently live in Bracebridge. Now, did you guys move to Bracebridge prior to opening the shop, or did you guys move to Bracebridge because you were opening up a shop?
No, we've been here now for 17 years.
Yeah.
We're originally from Winnipeg. We moved out to Muskoka in 2003.
Yeah, well, you moved out first.
I moved out first. I told him how awesome it was. And then he came out to spend the summer.
Yeah.
And then basically we never left.
Never left, yeah.
So now you guys have been collectors, and then you guys decide, let's open up a Funko retailer store. What kind of sparked up the idea for that? Because it's one thing being a Funko collector, but it's a whole complete different ball game to be like, yep, we're going to have a store.
Yeah, I mean, that really is what it's about, right? Like we talked about it over and over again. And as we saw, like once we started with those first few pops that we got, and we're watching Funko grow and we're seeing what's going on with it, him and I kept talking and saying, there's a store here. We truly felt that it couldn't just be a website. We felt we needed a brick and mortar store to legitimize the website.
An experience.
Like we wanted to make an absolute crazy Funko store, literally floor to ceiling. It's nothing but Funko. And we were like, if we're going to do it, we're going to do it right. That's the whole idea of it. Was we launched the website first.
Yeah.
And got the groundwork there. And then we slowly over like 3 or 4 months started to build the store. And we're like, we have to launch the store, and the store has to be a destination. And that was our whole idea behind it. And we're having a ball doing it. And it's working because, people love it. And I mean, again, we'd love to be closer because we are a little bit outside of the GTA and the majority of our fans. But the reality is it is what it is. And if you want to make the trip and you want to come see us, we will definitely make it worth your while. That's the idea.
For us, it was a big supply and demand issue. Like the places that carry Funko don't cater to Funko. So you could go and camp out in front of Hot Topic, and this hot new release, just a common, is coming out, and people are lining up and open. And because most retailers, especially when they don't specialize in something, a lot of corporate big box places, they will only get enough quantity based on what they map out corporately as square footage allowed per SKU. So when you are thinking about Hot Topic, EB Games, even Walmart's in Canada have really sort of phased it out.
Yeah.
But these other big box retailers that you would go one to one and try and find the pop that you want, they're not getting the quantity, the volume to accommodate the sheer demand that there is. One of the perfect examples was The Office. So when The Office wave came out, I went to an EB Games, and we have to drive an hour to go to a big box retailer that has Funko. I went in there and I'm like, out of curiosity, what did you get? They're like, we got 6 Dwights, 3 Mikes, 4 Pams. There's just not enough volume out there for the sheer demand that exists. And we're like, we know what the hot pops are going to be. We're collectors. So when it came down to Common Dwight, we got 72 of them. And we still sold out in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, they're basically being allocated based on square footage. They're being allocated based on, well, we got to get these and these and these.
Not what's hot. There's a few places in the States that cater solely to Funko, but in Canada, there is nobody doing 100% Funko retailer and being the place, a mecca to collectors who are willing to bring in the cool stuff, bring in US exclusives.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to hot commons, having enough like baby Yodas to supply the demand that there is out there for them.
The US side became very serious like right away. Like we realized that we had to open PO boxes in Buffalo and we had to make trips because we didn't realize that how hard it was in Canada to get the US stuff. Right? Like you're not getting US stuff up here. I mean, EB Games gets nothing compared to what GameStop gets on their website, you know, or Amazon does not ship up to Canada. I mean, you go on Amazon.ca, you're not finding what you're going to find on Amazon.
You won't get the Funko on .ca.
Yeah, Target has limited things they'll ship to Canada. So we had to do PO boxes
The Funko shop.
And the Funko shop won't ship to Canada. So we had to make the trips to the border and we had to make it work. And I mean, it's a lot of work to bring it in, but we're glad that we are those guys that work hard to bring it in.
Yeah, so like you mentioned, your store does have US exclusives, which, like you guys mentioned, it's hard for Canadians to get some of those US exclusives, such as Funko Shop and Target. So how much traveling is done? Because like you said, you go to a PO box. So that's got to be so like, pre-pandemic. So you guys said the Buffalo border you guys would go to?
Yeah, pre-pandemic, it was basically every 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks we go to Buffalo and pick up.
That border's like so close to us. That's like a 20-minute drive. But for you guys living out near Muskoka, that's got to be what, like 4 hours?
3 hours to the border, and then
it's basically 3.5 to
3.5
Niagara.
to the box, and then through the it's probably about 7 hours round trip, give or take.
Yeah.
And then getting through the border. I mean, we have an import account and stuff, but it's still a process.
Now that we're an actual business, we have an import number. We made things easier, but then COVID-19 happened and border trips were completely cut off.
Yeah, shut down completely.
So we had to get a little bit more creative. Just, we want to be the guys. We want to have the stuff.
We always plan when we were doing this, we want to be the Funko guys. We want to be the guys that you're like, if you want it, we have it. If we don't have it, we'll try to find it for you. That's what it's about. Adding that customer service level of, hey guys, we love this stuff. You love that stuff. We'll help find you.
So for those that have not been to K-Dog and Fish or have maybe seen you guys on social media, which the majority of the people listening would have already known what you guys are. So for those that haven't seen you guys, so I'll throw up some photos right now as everyone is viewing of pictures of in-store, because you can search up K-Dog and Fish and you actually see what the inside of the store looks like, which is just wall-to-wall Funko. Like, it's crazy. Like, MD and I haven't been there ourselves, and we do plan on visiting you guys sometime once this whole COVID is over.
Any pictures you have actually adapted since then. Because we needed more space. So everything has changed, and we keep needing to do
new pictures,
new in-store pics.
New pictures.
But it's all changing rapidly.
Every square inch of that store is Funko.
Yeah, floor to ceiling.
We'll move on to a question segment. Some fans have sent in some questions. There's only 3, but there's still some questions sent in.
We'll take it.
So one that we kind of discussed already comes from our friend over at Funko Pop Monthly, had asked, how long have you guys known each other and where'd you first meet?
44 years ago.
Yeah. We're old. We're old, guys. We are old. We are old.
We've known each other since birth. Our mothers are sisters, and we've been best friends our whole lives.
Yeah, we've been literally together our entire lives. Like our mothers, like our family homes, you could walk out of Mark's or Fish's front door and walk to my mom's house in 30 seconds. Like we grew up like around the corner from each other and in Winnipeg, and we've always been together. And when Fish came out here, it was almost like when he left Winnipeg, I was kind of like, what am I going to do now? So that's why I was like, I'm going to come out here. And that's how the whole thing started. Because when him and I are together, it's like, okay, well, that's the way it's supposed to be. So, yeah.
This question comes in from @MarkT87. How much money do you need to get started?
That's interesting. It
was a small investments over a period of time building the inventory.
Yeah, it really depends on what level you want to take it to, right?
We knew we needed the stock to be able to start being a retailer.
Yeah.
But you can't, because of Funko releases so little at a time. It was lots of little investments. Like, I don't know, it's hard to explain. You guys know how Funko releases.
Yeah.
So you couldn't just open a store. You had to like slowly buy inventory.
Like we were so naive to the whole thing, to be honest with you. When we decided that we were going to open a store, we researched the Canadian distributor for Funko. We reached out to him. We said we want to open a store, blah, 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 blah. He said, sure, blah, blah, fill out all the paperwork, got a registration number, did it. And then he sent us what he had for stock. And we're like, no, we want all of this stuff. And he's like, no, you can't get any of that stuff,
Yeah.
right? We didn't really understand exactly how limited Funko was, right? Because it would get released and it'd be gone. We realized that we had to open an account and then start stockpiling inventory. So we spent almost 18
I'd say
months,
18 months.
18 months
Yeah.
literally stockpiling inventory at my house. And we would order it in and we would literally put it in my basement and just stockpile. Because you can't open a store from scratch because they don't have enough inventory ever to actually open a store from scratch. So we
just keep
stockpiled and stockpiled
doing
and stockpiled.
pre-orders. Yeah.
So like we were determined to make this work. Like we were committed to it. So to say to someone how much it would actually cost to actually do something like this, I mean, it depends. You have to be really, really patient and committed to doing this to actually get a shop off the ground. And the unfortunate thing is like $15,000 you'll burn through pretty quick. Like I don't even know the number that we actually probably put into it. Probably closer to $20, $25, $30,000 just to get the doors open.
To specialize only in one thing that gets periodically released is a waiting game. And it did take a full, I would say, 18 months before we had enough inventory to go, okay, we can open.
Yeah, if I wanted to open a store right now today with what I could get from my supplier, you just couldn't do it. I mean, you could do it, but it would be full of a lot of
The same
pops that nobody wants. I mean, you get a lot of Apex and Bright Pops, and and even our supplier, when we actually opened our account and told him what we planned to do, he tried to talk us out of it. Like he was like, no, you got to bring in all this and this and this and this. And I'm like, no, we're doing only Funko. We're
Just
not
Funko.
doing any of that. We don't want Magic the Gathering cards and we don't want Dungeons and Dragons. Like, no, we are literally only doing Funko. And he's like, he literally, this guy, like, I'm paying you. And he was literally like, I don't think this is going to work. I'm like, oh, we don't care what you think because we're doing it anyway. So,
yeah, a lot of people told us it wouldn't work.
Yeah. No, basically everyone basically told us it didn't work. But whatever,
All right. This last question is sent by @Funko_freaky. This Instagram account asks, will you ever make the store accessible in the UK?
Oh my gosh.
Like
online?
Like
I was-
online or actually opening a store in UK?
Yeah, I was thinking, they probably mean online.
I think opening a store in UK would be awesome.
K-Dog and Fish, London. He's from London.
My problem is the way I view UK is like only Guy Ritchie movies. So
Yeah,
like
it'd be a lot of
Snatch and
Cockney,
like Snatch and Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. That's how I see London. So
yeah, right next to fancy tailor shops,
Yeah.
and it would be
Yeah,
K-Dog and Fish.
the problem with anything in the UK is the shipping, right? I mean, that's the biggest problem. Even US shipping is hard for us. We got a pretty good account, but UK shipping would be really bad.
Yeah, it would
Like,
be a minimum of probably around $50 to $60 a package.
Yeah,
to
it's
ship to
tough.
the
It's
UK.
tough.
Since opening, we've had a ton of requests. Will you ever open a store in my town? Or we've gotten a lot of that.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that we are in such a highly populated tourist destination area in Muskoka, and it is a less than 2-hour drive from Toronto. Like we've had people make the trip or plan with like their friends and make it a destination. I like the idea that we are a destination store.
I agree.
And we saw in that first year people driving from Windsor, from Kingston. We have weekly visitors from like Barrie and Aurelia. There's a dude that drove from Montreal. He's like, I just want to make sure you're open that day because I'm driving 5.5, 6 hours. And we're like,
yeah,
let's do this.
And we have Freddie that works the store and Chris that works the store. But if you're making the trip, we make sure that we're there to meet you.
We will meet
and
you,
see you and talk to you. And again, that's the bigger thing for us too, is that we appreciate that you want to come to our shop and we want to be able to see there and shake your hand, or I guess
not now,
social distancing, give you a fist pump or whatever we got to give you now and whatever. But right now we're set up for private shopping and everyone's loving it. Like they're loving it and they're coming in, they get an hour, the stores to themselves, right? And they're loving it and we're there. Again, it's like, if you want to come, like we want to come talk to you. Like we really appreciate you guys wanting to come to our store. And hey, you're having a little old Milwaukee. You're an old Milwaukee there.
MD,
right?
you having an old Milwaukee?
Milwaukee, nice.
Nice.
Yeah, if you want to come to the store, we want to be there to meet you. We want to talk to you. And again, we appreciate you guys wanting to be a part of the K-Dog and Fish community. And we're here to just be the guys that are just having a ball doing it. And we literally live it 24/7. Like it's so much fun. Like it really is. It really, really is. So.
Not only do you guys promote your brand through some sorts of social media, but YouTube also, because you guys also have your YouTube shows, you have your podcast on Spotify and iTunes, which some of the content listings that I can name off, you guys did this sweet Office intro to promote the Office
That was
Pops.
awesome.
That was Fish. Yeah, and we got a little bit of copyright problem.
Yeah, we
for
got in
that.
trouble
We
with
got in trouble
YouTube
for that.
about
Yeah.
There's also the top 5 Emerald City Comic Con Pops you guys did, but also you guys do more than just talk about Funko Pops when it comes to your podcast and your YouTube shows. You talk about movies because you guys are huge movie buffs, in which there is the top 5 most underrated comedies. And I always think sometimes, like, if, let's say, MD and I were to be one of you guys, who would we be? And I kind of always think I'd be Fish, in the sense of we both would run the social media platforms for our brands. We kind of do more of the research when it comes to getting prepared. And then we would do, not saying that you don't do any, I was just going to.
That's 100%.
You're bang on 100%.
So, but then Fish and I also would be the ones that edit the videos. So, of course, I can only imagine we'd be spending so much time editing videos. And probably during that process, let's say Fish is in the middle of editing a video while, let's say, K-Dog is, as heard on your recent outtakes on one of your videos, he'd probably be watching Billions while eating a full bag of jalapeno Cheetos. And then MD, while I'll be editing a video, would probably be playing golf, getting a hole in one every time. But let me just,
I like it.
Yeah, let me just rephrase this. So a hole in one in golf, as in he gets it in the lake and not on the actual hole.
Hey, that still counts.
Hey, I shot a good game today.
Yeah, that counts. That's not a big deal. Hey, if you're aiming for the lake, then it counts, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You're pretty much bang on to that. I will openly admit, Fish does way more behind the scenes thing and everything. And again, like, everything is social media. He does everything. All the editing, everything. I basically just show up and he just makes me laugh and I try to make him laugh.
He makes me laugh.
And then I go home. That's basically what I do.
That's then I was going to mention for K-Dog and MD, you guys are both informative, but you guys can guarantee some sort of comedic moment at some point.
Oh, yeah. That's what I love. My goal, what people don't really understand through, like, all our YouTube, all our podcasts, nothing is scripted. Everything is just basically, Fish and I have been together our entire lives. Our goal is always to make each other laugh. And that's the whole thing. There's never anything scripted. And even our last video with the Chinese food story, when I went, Kung Pao, that was totally unscripted. And Fish literally lost it. We always just want to make each other laugh. And we've always been the life of the party. And we were joking out, like, when we're playing poker with all our guys, like, they literally just sit back. Fish and I just go at each other, just joking around. Everyone just sitting there laughing, dying. That's who we are. And that's why we wanted to do this. Yeah, it's not, to a certain degree, K-Dog and Fish, we're not necessarily selling Funko. We're selling us. We're selling that we love it. We love Funko. We love pop culture. We love movies. We love sports. We love everything. But we also just love having fun and making each other laugh. And if we can make each other laugh and make you guys laugh, man, it's a win-win, man. It's a good day.
I don't think a lot of people that do tune into the show is that we literally know the topic and we'll bring the pops up.
Yeah.
And then we just roll the camera.
Yeah.
And the entire thing, even with a podcast, which is a longer form, and yes, I'll do that research, and he's joking, he does do some research as well.
Not a lot, though.
But we'll have the notes as far as, okay, this movie brought this in at the box office, whatever.
Yeah.
But we may have facts written down as preparation, but the actual banter is 100% unscripted. After the first video from day one recording, we're like, we have so much of trying to make each other laugh that an outtakes blooper reel was inevitable on that first video. And I'm like, that could be like our thing, because we do that all the time. So why not have the ending of every single show be the stuff where we're trying to make each other piss ourselves, or any sort of flubs or anything? It's such a fun part of the show, despite the fun we're also having in the show.
Yeah.
It's like our thing to have that blooper reel at the end of every episode.
So when you guys first opened your store, what were some of the memories of the first couple of weeks of operation, and what items do you remember getting the list from Funko that you were able to pre-order and that you were, like, really excited about?
I can tell one story about, like, the grand opening, and then you should really tell about pre-orders and stuff.
Yeah.
The one thing I remember from when we first opened is we had a very limited amount of the Hulk from Thor Ragnarok 10-inch Target exclusive. And we were so proud to have that on the grand opening as a brand new retailer. And to our shock, all of them sold out on the first day.
Yeah.
That will always stick out in my mind as our grand opening day selling out of that one specific pop.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
When we opened the shop, it was funny because we took a lot of flack. Like I gotta
From
tell you guys,
non-Funko
like
people.
non-Funko people, and they literally would come in the store to tell us that we're crazy. It was really, I don't want to say that it discouraged us because him and I were both, committed to what we were doing, but it angered us quite a bit because it was amazing the level that people would come in and just say to an actual business owner where we opened the store, we put our heart and soul into this, and to kind of ultimately crap on us like this, it was not cool. Like Fish and I took it to heart because like everything we do, we have passion for, and we wouldn't be doing this if we didn't have passion. And I look forward to
literally saying good luck.
Yeah, the sarcastic good luck was the best, and it was like, all right, I'll see you later, you bastard. But anyways, in terms of the pre-orders and stuff, it's excitement when you get the pre-orders, like the Funko pre-orders. And I remember the one thing that really excited us, I remember this to this day, is we got the Walgreens TIE Fighter. You know the TIE Fighter ride that was,
it was
a Walgreens?
40th anniversary.
40th anniversary.
Yeah.
And we actually got a pre-order for it. We're like, oh my God, we can actually order this. We thought it was only available to Walgreens. And that like blew us away that we could actually order this. And we ordered like a ton of them. Like it was crazy. The best thing about Funko for us, every single week, we just can't wait to see what comes down the pipe. And that's what's great about Funko. Funko is doing a great job of reinventing themselves. And you're seeing it with the vinyl soda. You're seeing it with the licenses they're doing. The Animal House pops are great. I actually had someone in the store yesterday that came up to get the 10-inch Baby Yoda, and he couldn't wait for the Stripes pops. And he was in his early 50s with his son. And he's like, I can't wait for the ox covered in mud, Again, Funko's doing such a good job of tapping into so many different demographics that might not ever care about Funko, but he could not wait for the Stripes pops. I give Funko a hard time all the time on our show and stuff. I probably shouldn't because they're going to cut us off. But at the end of the day, you guys are doing an awesome job. It's awesome.
Just think about the different type of demographics that they hit with anime, movies, television, music, sports, and to be able to hit all age ranges where you could release a Pokemon pop for people who loved and played Pokemon, when they were kids, or new kids that are into Pokemon now, versus somebody our age where you do Trading Places, Ghostbusters, Stripes, like Animal House, Back to the Future.
The new Back to the Future line is amazing. Like we're all going to lose our minds over it.
There's no shortage of fandom for all ages, genders.
Yeah. I guess that brings to, what is it like working with Funko? What are the ups and downs to working with Funko?
Yo.
Okay, here's what people give us the most crap about as a retailer. When's this coming? And we're like, the most frustrating thing about Funko, as much as we love them, is there is zero communication about release dates. So how the actual process works as a retailer is you will get a pre-order form via a website as a retailer. When the pre-orders are so far in advance, there are no glams. Yeah. There are no pictures.
No pictures.
So when it came to the Disney remix,
great example. Yeah.
We're like, what are these going to look like? Are they going to be cool? We have no idea. We pre-ordered blind and we went low, not realizing that when we actually got glams and were able to put them as pre-orders on our site, we had already pre-ordered them from Funko 3 months ago and didn't get enough. So we put them on the website.
So we're emailing our supplier, give us more, we need more, we need more, we need more.
We put them on the website, our website for pre-order, and they sold out in the first night. And we don't even know if we're going to be able to get any more.
Yeah.
So I think the biggest frustration is communication. And then when it came to PX Iron Man, the initial word and all rumor was April.
Yeah.
April didn't happen, and then May didn't happen, and then finally we got word in June. The problem with the word from Funko is from the Canadian, there's one Canadian supplier for retailers in Canada for Funko, and they give us an email going, here's what we received. You're going to get your pre-orders fulfilled for these pops, and we see them 2 days later. That's the notice that we get.
Yeah.
We get 2 days notice that these are coming to the shop. So when people keep going, when am I getting this? When am I getting this? When is PX Iron Man being released? We're like, we legit don't know.
And the best thing about like a pure example is PX Iron Man. We ordered 4 master cases. Yeah. And we got 2. So
they didn't have enough.
They didn't have enough.
Yeah.
So we got 50%. And they did the same thing with us with Baby Yoda. We're like, guys, you're killing us.
Barely enough to fulfill
pre-orders. There's not enough supply to meet the demands. That's what we're trying to figure out. So it is very frustrating. Now, again, our supplier, I don't want to, we shouldn't bash our supplier because
they're awesome.
I mean, our sales rep is trying as hard as he can, and we do appreciate him huge, and he's a great guy. But I mean, he's stuck with the limitations of the supply and demand of what he can get.
They don't know.
They don't even know. It's crazy. Like we message him all the time. We're like, he's like, well, I got a Funko delivery coming in next week. Great. What's in? He's like, I'm not sure. I'm like, how do you not know what's coming?
They get a shipping container because Funko's very secretive.
Yeah.
So they will get a shipping container and they won't know what's in it until it
gets there.
Unbox it when it gets there. Yeah. And then they tell us.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the podcast, whenever we talk about like a Funko Pop announcement, I always make sure I say the words as early as before, because you don't know when it's good. Because I remember saying when the PX Iron Man got announced during whatever podcast that was, that it would be out as early as April, but clearly it may be April in, let's say, the States, because obviously they'd probably cater to like their area of Washington and California before they move on more east and into different countries. So I always have to make sure it's as early as, so that no one's thinking, oh, it's supposed to come out in April. And
we don't tell people anything, like even though it said tentatively April, we know we're smart enough not to say specific dates at all because they're never accurate.
And it's horrible because you'll see it on the US sites, you know, whether it be Hot Topic, Box Lunch, you know, whatever, they'll post it socially, but that's US, not Canada. Yeah. Right. So we're still waiting. It's always US first. Canada's always second. That's life.
So during your experience of running the store, I know that some people bring in pops for trading, correct? Like they'll bring in, what has been the rarest pop that has hit up the store, you guys think? That someone's brought in, or even maybe somehow you guys obtained?
Probably from the trades, I would say that SDCC Steve is probably the rarest I traded for.
That's super rare.
It's 1800 limited with the con sticker.
Yeah.
We just traded for that Billy from Saw, which is a big horror grail.
We don't do trades as much as we do. We'll buy collections off of people.
Yeah, we do some trades. Some trades.
Yeah. But what was that massive collection we bought?
Oh, the first ever. If you go back to like our earliest YouTube shows, we bought a massive Grail collection.
Yeah,
we had to split it into 2 shows, and we didn't even just show. There was 126 pops in that collection.
Yeah, there's all crazy stuff in there.
Ad icons, convention exclusives. Grails. And we highlighted a few of our favorites and split it into 2 YouTube shows. We've sold through almost all that collection in that first year. We maybe have a couple of stragglers.
I remember when I was first following you guys on Instagram, I'm pretty sure you guys had one, and I don't know how you guys got it, but it was the 1,000 piece lime Sour Patch Kid.
Oh yeah, how'd you get that? You got that.
I did. I traded. It was actually a collection buy.
Yeah.
It was from a guy out east, and this is the weirdest collection buy we did because we did it through the mail. Like, I was very nervous. A lot of collections we buy, these people drive to the shop, show us, we go through everything.
Yeah.
Come up with a mutual agreement as far as price. Do the transaction actually sight on scene. This was taking a little bit of a honor system.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
That he'd sent a bunch of pictures. It was like 3 or 4 massive boxes.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And he was like in the East Coast, like Newfoundland or New Brunswick. That was not even in the list. There was just a bunch of really cool finds. I knew the collection was going to be an awesome collection and the price was great for us. So when it showed up and we unpacked everything, I saw the Sour Patch Kids set with the ECCC Grail. And I'm like, oh my gosh, and the set was in great condition. And we posted it on Instagram and it sold within an hour. Yeah. Like, people were clamoring to get it. But we sold it as an entire full set. You just happened to get the green one in it.
Yeah.
One thing I'll mention about you guys selling pops and all that, the one great thing about you guys is the amount of bubble wrap you guys put on pops. I've never seen so much bubble wrap, and it's not a bad thing, obviously. It's something that, like, I feel like I imagined it like a couple nights ago, where it's like, if you think of the one Office episode where they're having like that like workplace meeting about sexual harassment, I feel like stores like Walmart and Pop in a Box should have like these workplace meetings, putting a VHS tape, and it shows you guys how to instruct how to package a pop, because you'll get something. Obviously, I've never ordered from Walmart in the States, but I've seen photos of getting them in bags. And then same with Hot Topic, actually.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, I just did a Hot Topic like mail call, and surprisingly, they sent me a box with sorters, which I was super surprised about, because I was going into it thinking they may put bubble wrap on it. They may
do
not.
Hot Topic usually does send in sorters. Yeah. In our last order, we had a bunch of venomized green goblins that did come in a bag. All 5 were destroyed. And that's not a Hot Topic thing. Hot Topic usually...
One of the better shippers.
We'll give credit to Hot Topic. They usually ship in sorters. But for some reason, those 5 came in a bag and they were all destroyed. It was
I think one of the things that we take very big pride in as a retailer, if we're going to cater Funko and you're coming and you're buying from people who love Funko and who are collectors, then taking extreme pride in how we ship and package Funko to our customers is next level customer service that you won't get from anybody else who's just a regular big box retailer or Amazon or anybody. We painstakingly wrap and package. We use 200-pound test U-line boxes. We bubble wrap. We use filler, anything to make sure that you get them in perfect condition.
Sometimes we box inside of a box.
When you get them, it's boxes inside of boxes.
Yeah.
We are going to make sure that we ship Funko like nobody will ship you Funko.
Like it's important just to us because we want to be the guys. The last thing we want you to do is get a K-Dog and Fish box. We put stickers on all the boxes so you get it. It's like, I got a K-Dog and Fish box. I don't want you to open it up and going, look at this.
It's damaged.
It's all damaged. They threw it in the box or whatever. The testimony to it is we hired a new full-time guy, Chris, who came on board, who's been like our lifesaver. Like Chris is literally saving the company because he's just so awesome at what he's doing. But he's buying into what we are about. So he gets it. He's looking at every pop and he's like, I got this little damage, put it back, get it away. And he's buying into it. He knows that we're about, you're going to get the best stuff from K-Dog. And if there's any imperfections, we're going to tell you. Like, again, like we always say, if there's even the smallest problem that we see, we'll send you a picture. We'll tell you, hey guys, sorry, there's a little crack in the corner. And that's what people don't really understand is that we get a lot of pops from Funko that come in shipped. Like we'll get a case of 6 pops. The box looks fine on the outside, but the box in the middle will be cranked in the corner. And we have no idea how that happened because it doesn't make any sense, but it's damaged. It is what it is, and we roll with it, and we don't lose sleep over it, but we won't ship it unless we tell you about it.
Yeah.
That's how we do it.
All right, so store's going great, and all of a sudden, earlier this year, the pandemic hits. What were your initial thoughts when, the government kept saying stores have to be closed, you guys would have to go just online? Were you guys like worried that possibly like because you are considered more of a small retailer rather than a big chain, like anything going wrong?
I think the biggest thing that we knew is that we've already tried to build a big social presence, and we actually launched the website before the retail store. So we just were like, okay, we can't open. Let's double down our efforts online. Let's keep posting every day. Let's talk about it. Let's do more YouTube shows. Let's make the shop, because the one thing about Funko is we have pockets of customers and fans from every province across Canada. We are shipping Funko coast to coast. So that doesn't mean that the store needs to be open, right? We're trying to cater to Canada as a whole. Let's just focus on online and give the people what they want. They might not be able to pop in if you're within a couple hours driving distance, but we can really help people and take it to that next level on an online front. And we're super happy with how everything has gone since COVID-19 hit.
Yeah, we were like, Fish and I are both big online shoppers before all of this happened, right? Even before we even did K-Dog and Fish. Like I've always been a big online shopper. So we knew what we were doing. the reality is when COVID came down, we didn't panic. We said we have to double down on content, and we don't have enough hours in the day. We would love to do 3 or 4 YouTube shows a week, but unfortunately, it's
We're
hard.
packing online orders.
We're packing online orders, so we haven't been
That's why
able
we
to.
hired Chris.
But we knew that this industry, the business that we're doing, we can survive a pandemic as long as you don't just basically stick your head in the sand and just hope for the best. Like, we gotta keep going. We gotta stay like Fish is amazing
Mystery
at
boxes.
the content and mystery boxes and everything else. But Fish runs the content, and it's like post 3 times a day. Just keep people engaged. Go, 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 go. Don't let the pandemic judge your future, basically. Like, if you have a business and you have something you believe in, guys, you're gonna make it work. Just keep pumping it and pumping it and pumping it and pumping it, and that's what we're doing.
I think the biggest thing was making sure that the website was like the best we could make it, and having that be the storefront during the pandemic is just keep making the website better and better.
Yeah.
That it doesn't matter that the brick and mortar store was closed during those months. At this time now, we are still close to the general public, but offering private shopping by appointment, and people are loving that.
Yeah.
And being able to still come and experience the store privately and not feel too uncomfortable that there's, tons of people around or what have you. And then just still focusing on online. We just took the online store to that next level once the pandemic hit.
All right, so we're going to play a game.
Okay.
So basically, we're going to name off 3 pops, and we're going to do 5 rounds of this. So it will be keep one, sell one, destroy one, and each section
This is super fun.
That's murder. What's it?
Yeah.
Mary. Oh, we can't say the other word.
You can't say the other word. But
And
yeah,
then
you know,
kill,
yeah, you know what we're thinking.
We know what
All
you're
right,
getting
all right,
at.
we know what you're getting at. All right, let's
So
do it.
we'll name off 3 pops, and they're based off of any podcasts or YouTube shows you've guys done. So the first one is all Arnold Schwarzenegger based.
Cool.
So
Okay.
GameStop exclusive Adam Dutch Schaefer, Funko Shop T800, and Mr. Freeze. Keep one, sell one, destroy one. We'll start off with you guys, and then it'll go myself
take
and then
this one?
empty.
You can take. I know
Okay.
exactly where you're gonna go.
I'm
with this.
keeping Dutch.
Of course,
I'm
100%.
I'm selling T800.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna burn Mr. Freeze.
Absolutely, 100%. I agree 1,000%. 1,000%. I could not possibly keep a Mr. Freeze pop. I couldn't respect myself in the morning.
I'm going to have to say Mr. Freeze I'm keeping just because.
Really?
Yeah, I know. I know you guys.
Wow, that's amazing.
I know. I loved Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze. I know you guys probably
really.
are.
I gotta rewatch. I gotta rewatch it tonight when I get
Chill
home.
out.
Like, oh my god, chill out, chill out. Oh
Yeah,
my god.
I know the movie's rated 11% on Rotten Tomatoes, but somehow I still
11?
It's that
Yeah,
high.
it's that.
Oh
All right,
my
We're at a
god.
solid 6.
Oh, all right. Okay.
All right.
Okay,
I'm
so
interested. So what else?
I would sell T800
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I would destroy Adam Dutch Schaefer.
Oh,
That's such a
why?
And that's such a
Wait,
shame.
didn't you win that
Why
pop
would-
from us?
Yeah.
On a giveaway. That's a
Yeah,
move,
oh
man.
yeah, that's horrible. Why would you? That's the coolest pop. Really? You would destroy
He's
that?
covered in mud.
Oh.
Unfortunately, I have to agree with DK. Same thing
Oh.
for me. So yeah,
Keeping
Seriously?
Mr. Freeze.
Yeah.
I know.
yeah.
I know you guys are so disappointed on that.
What?
Crazy.
Really? Oh
I
my
love
God.
that Dutch covered in mud.
How the Dutch covered in mud is so
I
cool.
love it.
All right, so we'll go on to the second part of this now, in which move on before K-Dog virtually strangles me for saying to destroy the Adam Dutch Schaefer Funko Pop.
Brutal.
Super upset about this, actually. Not gonna lie.
This will be on Stranger Things. So the 3 pops I'm going to list here. The 2017 San Diego Comic-Con Steve Harrington, the 2018 San Diego Comic-Con Dustin in the Snowball Dance outfit, or the 2018 Funko Fun Days limited to 1,800 piece Robin. Keep
Oh my
one,
God.
sell one, destroy one.
Oh, I don't even know. I can't even think about that one.
Okay, personally, we're not going to probably be the same on this one.
Yeah.
I would keep the Steve. I just love Steve. I actually love Dustin too, which
Yeah.
is going to not sit well with him because he's also a big Dustin
I'm
fan.
a huge Dustin fan.
Is that I
Dustin
would,
and Steve together.
Yeah.
The combo. I love them together.
so I keep that Steve because I love that pop. Sell the Robin and then I would only by process of elimination, I would destroy the Dustin Snowball.
Ugh.
And I know that's going to anger you, but the
Yeah.
Robin would fetch the value in the sale.
Oh, you're
And
going
I-
value?
And I
This is-
love the Steve more than that Dustin.
I'm
Pop.
not going on value. I'm going on pure love of Stranger Things. not
Okay.
Value. The Steve, that's the bat.
That's beat up Steve.
Yeah,
Beat up
he's,
Steve, right?
yeah, he's beaten
Yeah,
up.
I would keep that
oh,
one.
that's
That's
a
my.
really cool pop.
I would keep that one. That's
but
me.
I love Dustin. I got to keep Dustin at the dance. I know he's not as sought after, but I'm going by my own heart. I love Dustin, so I'm keeping him. I'd sell the SDCC, beat up Steve, and I'd trash the Robin.
I'm going to keep Dustin just because Dustin's been my favorite character throughout the whole series.
Well played. You're
And
making
all-
up for the Ellen Dutch.
But I will have to agree with Fish by saying that I would sell the Fun Days Robin because of the value purpose. Because then I would get a ton of money off it. Because it
You
is
guys.
1,800 pieces.
It's a very rare pop.
And then the 2017 SDCC Steve Harrington would be destroyed. Not like it's already beaten up as it is.
You beat them up. Now you're just pouring salt in the wound.
Yeah, but it's a really cool pop.
It's awesome. That would be my keep,
Yeah.
but I understand your
I
process.
don't have that one. I really want that one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I would keep the Steve because that's arguably my favorite pop of
It is
all
it's
time.
a really cool pop.
I would sell the Robin because, yeah, it's worth a lot of money. I was thinking about keeping it because it's a great one, but it is worth quite a bit, so I'd sell that one. And then that Dustin, that can go.
Poor little Snowball Dustin
No,
Yeah.
you don't. No, you're not feeling the hair.
when he did the hair.
No,
Yeah.
not feeling the hair.
Yeah.
All right.
Next round is movie based. So first
That's our
one,
area.
Target exclusive fat guy in a little coat, Tommy Boy.
Oh, I already know your answer.
I know my answer.
Yeah.
The Billy Madison in Bathtub Pop Deluxe. And the last pop, the newly released glow in the dark I Am Iron Man.
PX?
Yeah.
The PX Iron Man.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You want to go first? Because I already know your keep.
I'm going fat guy in little coat. I mean, I'm a huge Tommy Boy fan. So Tommy Boy, number one, absolutely. I would sell the Iron Man and I'd trash the Billy Madison. Even though I do love the Billy Madison in the bathtub, I'd trash that, but I'd sell the Iron Man. Yeah.
I'm really torn. I know that out of the three, the PX Glow Iron Man, I loved the culmination of the Tony Stark character and what Robert Downey Jr. brought to it. And it like means something to me personally because how much I love the first Iron Man movie.
Mhm.
And this pop just speaks to me on an emotional and a Marvel loving level. It would be so hard for me. Oh,
It's got an awesome
Tommy
it's got an
Boy.
awesome bass too. Like it's got an awesome bass when you take it out. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I would have to keep that PX Iron Man. I would sell the Tommy Boy and I would destroy the Billy Madison. And again, I love the Billy Madison bathtub and the shampoo versus conditioner. We're going to do an Adam Sandler tribute podcast.
Oh, for sure.
and
Absolutely.
the title is
Yeah.
actually going to be shampoo or conditioner.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
The Adam Sandler podcast. That will
Yeah.
be a podcast that we do.
Nudie Magazine Day is my favorite day of the week.
Yeah, that's a great deal.
I can't wait. I run to my mailbox.
We often see penguins everywhere
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
go based on alcohol consumption.
Won't usually. not gonna lie, it's a true story.
All right. For myself, I would keep the Tommy Boy because people who know me best, my favorite actor of all time is Chris Farley. And I
Nice,
wish he was
nice.
still
Facts.
here. I wish he was
Oh,
still
we
here.
all do, man. We all do.
So yeah, continuing on. So I'd keep Tommy Boy, sell Iron Man, and unfortunately, I would have to trash the Billy Madison. Although, if you ask me what my favorite scene of a Adam Sandler movie is ever, it is that exact scene.
Oh yeah.
I go on first and clean the hair.
Yeah. All right.
Stop mocking me, Swan.
Swan.
I make the hair silky and smooth. And it, honestly,
It's
so funny.
So funny. I can't argue with that. It's so
Yeah.
funny. Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, MD.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep the bathtub. I love it.
Keep it in
I
the
love
bathtub.
Adam
Oh,
Sandler.
It's an awesome pop. It's an awesome pop.
It
No doubt
is.
a lot. Yeah.
Then I would sell the Iron Man because I feel like that will be one of those pops that will probably go up in value.
Oh yeah.
And then
Already is,
unfortunately,
so.
I got to destroy the Tommy Boy, even though he was
Yeah.
almost the keep.
Yeah.
That guy in a little coat.
That's a funny, like the best scene from an Adam Sandler movie I don't know. It's hard to say, right? Like
I
in
would
my
have to
mind-
put Happy Gilmore as above Billy Madison, but Billy Madison was the first to launch him as a movie star.
I think there was some scenes out of Big Daddy that are literally some of my favorite famous Adam Sandler moments in my mind when I'm thinking about it. I'd have to think about it more.
Yeah,
I think mine is Popeye's chicken is fucking awesome.
Is that Little Nicky?
That's Little Nicky, isn't it?
Nice. That was a good Little Nicky
I hope they do
impression.
Little Nicky Pops. That would be amazing if they did that.
Yeah.
Like seriously. Oh my God.
All right.
All right.
We're back.
We're back.
All right.
All right, fourth round, The Office.
Fourth round.
Oh.
Fish is a bigger Office fan than I am.
Okay.
But that's all right.
All right.
Box Lunch exclusive Jim as Dwight, GameStop exclusive Stanley with Pretzel, and the Emerald City Comic Con Recyclops Dwight. Keep one, sell one, destroy one.
Oh man. I'm actually going to keep Jim dressed as Dwight because probably my favorite thing about The Office was Jim's pranks with Dwight. And Jim's pranks on Dwight make me laugh so hard that I think that I would have to keep the Jim dressed as Dwight. I would sell the Recyclops and I would destroy the Stanley with Pretzel.
I'm not as much of an Office fan as you are, but I've watched quite a few. I think I'd keep Recyclops because I just really like that pop. I'd sell the Jim as Dwight, and I would trash the Stanley with Pretzel, which I hate because I really do.
I love Stanley.
I love Stanley. I love Stanley's like small role that he plays and the sarcasm that he has. And
his
just,
eye rolls. Were
yeah,
the
like
best.
it's just I love Stanley, but from a pop point of view, I'm not crazy about that pop.
All right, I'm going to keep Jim as Dwight because that's my favorite scene ever in The Office. It's so good. And especially that's one thing I really loved about The Office. Even when Michael Scott was gone for the last 2 seasons, it was always the interaction between Jim and Dwight that just kept the show going for me. I would sell the Stanley with Pretzel in the sense of it may not have value, but that's one of those pops where I'm like, if there's going to be another wave of Office, I want a Stanley pop, and I specifically want him with the pretzel. Process elimination, Recyclops Dwight, I would destroy. I'd probably put it in the ground and plant it since, you know, it is kind of friendly.
Recycle.
So, yeah, so empty.
Yeah. All right. Well, to make things easy, exact same thing you said, DK.
And the last round, Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, wow.
My favorite Star Wars movie.
That sounds a bit nice.
That's going to be hard for me to decide this.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. And this is all from the new wave that just got released.
All right.
So Han Solo and Carbonite, Luke with Yoda, or the Darth Vader and Meditation Chamber Pop Deluxe.
Oh, I can't destroy any of those. Okay, I'm gonna have to.
Who's going first?
I'm gonna have to process.
Are you going first?
I'll go first.
You going first?
I gotta process.
Who's going first?
Who's on first?
Who's on first? Who's going first? You going first?
No, he's on first. By process of elimination, no matter what, I'm keeping that Han on Frozen Carbonite. It's my all-time favorite movie scene. Han Solo is my favorite character. Now, between the other two, which one I would destroy? Oh my God. I'd probably sell Meditation Chamber and destroy Luke with Yoda, although that would hurt me on a personal level. But if I'm gun to my head, that's what I would do.
You have a gun to your head. I'd be interested to see what situation you're in. So,
You'd be surprised. I'm from Winnipeg, so I mean, the first time I had a gun to my head.
Interesting. All right. Yeah. Honestly, I would keep Meditation Chamber. Han and Carbonite I'd sell because, all honesty, I thought it was a really cool pop until I saw it in person. Like, not to bash Funko, but I didn't like the way Han's head bobbled in the Carbonite. I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. I know that Star Wars always has to bobble, but I kind of wished his head was actually more solid. And I would destroy the Luke with Yoda only because I like the Luke part of it, but I feel the Yoda looks a little too comic to me, where I think Yoda was older and more disheveled, and he's disheveled. Oh, good word. But he should have been more kind of beat up, where he looked too cartoonish to me on Luke's back.
I'm keeping the Darth Vader Meditation Chamber. Darth Vader, favorite character in the whole Star Wars series. I got a few Darth Vader pops myself. Not that yet. I would sell the Luke with Yoda and destroy the Han in Carbonite because, at least in my opinion, I liked the Han in Carbonite better when it was with the Boba Gets His Bounty, for the simple fact
that is really cool.
You get 2 pops in one, and the head doesn't bobble in the Han with Carbonite.
I agree. Yeah,
it is a cooler version of Han in Carbonite.
I agree.
All right, on to me then, eh?
Yep.
I would keep the Han and Carbonite. It's one of my favorite scenes from Star Wars, so I'd definitely keep the Carbonite. I would sell the meditation chamber because worth the most, obviously, and then yeah, the Luke and Yoda can go in the trash.
All right. So we got one last cool little question to end off the podcast. If Funko had messaged you guys saying that they were planning to make a K-Dog and Fish exclusive Funko Pop, and they gave you the opportunity to choose the Funko Pop that would be your exclusive, what would it be? And you're allowed to choose characters from licensors that Funko doesn't have rights to yet.
Wow. I mean, definitely when we open the shop, and seeing as there are smaller retailers that do have Funko Shop exclusives, we fully intend that we will have a K-Dog and Fish exclusive sticker on a Funko. At some point, it will happen. We've talked about that, and I'm definitely going to make it my personal mission that we will have a Funko exclusive K-Dog and Fish pop release at some point. I think for us personally, I'd want it to be Marvel or Star Wars related.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of too many licenses that Funko doesn't have that I would love. I mean, maybe they've never had the Nintendo license. So would the first ever Mario and Luigi be a K-Dog and Fish exclusive? That would be amazing. If we're going with current licensing, I would have to say it has to be something of my two biggest loves. Or maybe it's a cool movie that they've never done before.
I'd love to see, if it's ours, I'd love an Uncle Buck pop.
John Candy.
Uncle Buck pop with him wearing the
Nice.
hat and holding the drill in his one hand. And it's a 6-inch.
Oh.
A 6-inch John Candy, Uncle Buck in the trench coat, wearing the hat, holding the drill that he drilled through the lock.
Yeah.
That's what I'd like to see. More John Candy, or a planes, trains, and automobiles 2-pack with them holding the trunk. That's what I would love. That's what I would love.
That'd be cool.
I would love more John Candy pops. I think we need more. That's my own personal opinion.
I like that.
I'm surprised, K-Dog, you didn't say that they should get the license for Top Gun and make the volleyball scene in a movie moment.
Oh, well, that's a given.
Somebody's been watching our.
I mean, we need more topless Val Kilmer and Tom Cruise playing volleyball. I mean, we got to do that. I mean, that's a given.
So funny.
You know, I mean, not gonna lie, that'd be a great movie
beach
moment.
volleyball movie moment.
We'd make a ton of cash off of
K-Dog
that.
and Fish sticker.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, that's going to be the end of this week's podcast. If you enjoyed this podcast, make sure you smash that like button to let us know that you're enjoying the content being provided to you guys on this channel. Comment in the comment section below. Press that subscribe button for more content like this podcast and other videos we do in this future. And press the little bell beside it to be notified of when that future content gets released. Also, if you haven't yet, follow us on all of our social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. It'll be listed in the description below. But anyways, thank you all for listening, and we hope to see you guys next week on a Funko Podcast. 1, 2, 3, I'm out of here.
Peace in, peace out.
Thank you guys so much for having us. We appreciate you.
See you guys.